For today's class segment, I'll be showing students how they can create a lentil tofu stir fry at home. For this first step, I'm simply breaking down the broccoli by starting at the base, which allows for you to get more even pieces. cups of spring water, and then I'm just gonna put it in the NutriBullet until it's nice and blended, and then that's when I'll prepare and put it on the stove. So like I said, very simple to make. You can do a quick boil. Normally I plan accordingly, and so I'll just go ahead and soak the lentils overnight, and then I know that, you know, it's ready to go. It'll just take a couple hours just to set, you know, the next day. For my lentil base, I use a 1-to-2 ratio. So I'm measuring out 1 cup of lentils with 2 cups of spring water. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of me blending the mixture, but you want to continue to blend until fully smooth. And then I'm just gonna wait for the skillet just to get a little heated, and then I'll pour this in, and then I'll start the stirring process. So literally, you'll see it go from a liquid form to like a thick gel. When it turns into a paste and it sticks more to the spatula than the movability in the pan, then that's when you know that it's ready for you to set it in the mold. You can do it both ways. As it turns into the gel, you can begin to add your seasonings, or you can wait until it's molded, and then when you're ready to fry it up or however you want to prepare, then you can add. Once the mixture has blended, now you can add it to a hot skillet. The key for a smooth, consistent texture is to continue stirring throughout the process until the liquid begins to form into a gel. I don't know, can you see it? Probably not. So it's just purely a liquid right now. And then we're gonna stir for several moments. Like I may let it sit briefly if I need to attend to something else, but you just wanna continue to stir until it starts to turn into a gel. Yes,
this is kind of like milk to me.
And like I've had this NutriBullet, that's probably one of the original versions for like, I don't know, maybe about 10 years now, and I love my original one. I know they have the, what is it called, like the Vitamix, I think. That's a nice one. I've used that one before at different restaurants. It's expensive, it's a few $100s, but my little NutriBullet does me well, so. And when I break down like my flax seeds, because it does have the different blade attachments, so I'm able to make my flax seeds into powder and different things like that for recipes. So I have no complaints.
With the same set of blades?
So it's a flat blade. It's just one that goes straight across if you're doing any type of nuts or anything. So like when I make my sauces and I use like different types of nuts, I'll just use that flat blade, and I'll throw in like my spices, garlic, the nuts and things like that. And it does just fine. It gets a nice creamy texture. So you can see how it's starting to gel up now.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna continue to stir until it mostly just like sticks in the middle, kind of sticks to the spatula.
So the lentil itself does create that gel?
Yep, because there's nothing in here but just lentils and water.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it was a big discussion last class with this like tofu machine, but I don't know if it maybe cuts down on the soaking time, maybe, I don't know, or if it, you know, will just form it for you. But if you have the time to, you know, just soak your lentils overnight, I mean, it's pretty easy just to DIY it. So now I just kind of adjusted the heat to like a medium low, was on a medium high, just so I can help to prevent the lentils from sticking to the bottom of the skillet. As mentioned, the key to a smooth consistency is the constant stirring. This avoids the lentil mixture sticking to the pan, and also it helps to prevent any sort of lumps, so that way you get a smooth, consistent texture throughout. It's because I went through all the ebbs and flows. Like I went through the challenging moments with like not having enough protein, not eating enough, and feeling satisfied at home, and then going out in the world, and then now I'm like starving, and it's not like how it is today where you can kind of more readily find like a vegan location, and so I remember those moments where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have ate more. I wish I would have, brought a snack.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I went through all of that in the beginning stages, so it's just I'm adjusted now.
Wow.
Turn this down a little bit more.
So what's wrong with canned beans?
So with the canned, it's like some of the starch, like the natural starch when you soak a bean, has already been drained off, and then they'll sometimes add like the sodium and things like that, those preservatives, and so it won't gel up the same way if it's canned. So if you do use a bean, you want to just make sure it's a dry bean.
I see. And then cook it overnight or cook it 20 minutes, like what you said, like for dry beans.
If you're going to do like a quick soak, with like the red lentils, you can boil for like 30 minutes. With your other heavier dry beans like chickpeas and things like that, I would just do that overnight soak.
Okay. Yeah.
Because chickpeas can be like very firm, and you just want to make sure it breaks down.
I see.
Let's see if I can.
It's like you.
Just about one more moment. I just want it to really like thicken up where it's not coming off as much, and then I will place it in the mold. Kind of reminds me of like science class.
My science class, we didn't even get to do all that. Like, very superficial kind of science.
Love stuff.
Huh? Yeah, love stuff. I don't know if the kids nowadays, if they get to have as much fun in science class like I, did growing up. Everything's so like computer based.
Yeah.
I remember making like cell models out of cantaloupes, and microbiology. We made yogurt, in the class, and just different things like that. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
we did have home economics class, so
Mhm.
we did cooking.
Okay. Yeah, I took. They changed the name of it. Seems like every so many years. I think it was called food and nutrition or something like that when I was in school. All right. Definitely get your elbow work in. Now I'm just gonna add just a little bit of garlic powder. Now that the gel has formed, I'm adding in a couple seasonings. So I'm starting off adding some garlic powder. Next, I'll be adding in some onion powder as well. And then I will continue to stir the mixture. I think it's Booth Block. And also, I believe not those tables, they had a real nice, kind of like a kitchenette type table that I would roll out on days when I was doing like samples. And that one was made by the Booth Block as well. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Booth Block. Okay. Just wanted to paste up just a little bit more. So I'm gonna turn the heat up just for a second. doctor it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you. And I love garlic also, so I'm right there with you. I have, I'll use garlic powder, the garlic paste, and then the garlic cloves sometimes. So now that the lentil mixture has fully coagulated, you can go ahead and add it to a mold. You want to either use a glass dish or a ceramic dish. They work best to release the product, which will be the lentil tofu once it is fully formed. Just scrape it into the mold. This dish is a little on the bigger side, but I have a smaller one in there.
It's incredible to believe that with that kind of gel stuff, there's fiber.
Yeah.
Even though it's like cut down so, such a refined form.
Yes, and the good thing about this method, it still retains majority of the nutritional value as well.
Okay.
So now I just like to smooth it out a little bit and even it out. Just get the corners so I can get the mold of it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. And then now I'll just add this to the fridge and I would just allow this to sit for like a couple hours. So now I'm preparing one yellow onion to be sauteed within the stir-fry mixture. So just removing, of course, the outer layer, and then I will cut into strips. My motto, if it's meant for me, it will be. So it will still be here when I get back, or once I... Is the onion in view?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever you're doing with YouTube,
Specialized in or anything. Now I'm adding in a small drizzle of sesame seed oil for the stir fry. Or my lion's mane mushroom steaks, things like that. So it's kind of hard to have a different mushroom substitute for that. So now I'm adding in the broccoli to the heated skillet.
so yeah, it's good. We have something similar but wider.
Yeah.
Wider. Because it's deep. Next, I'll be adding the red bell peppers to the skillet with the broccoli. Things like that. And yellow onion. Then what I'll do is I'm going to cut up the mushrooms, and then I'll add the garlic in last. I do have a little bit of ginger. I'm just going to put in a couple pieces of ginger just so it won't overtake the dish. Slice up some of the mushrooms. I already have the broccoli and bell pepper sliced, and then I'll cut up an onion and garlic. Mostly like light soups and things like that, so it's been a light week for me.
So do you want me to start?
I'm just gonna do it up close. What was your question? Next, I'll be adding in a little pickled ginger. Add a little more. Like I said, I just don't want it to overtake.
What is that? How you get that in?
Just a little bit of one flipped out. A little bit of ginger.
Oh, that's the ginger, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on me cutting the mushrooms.
Okay.
So what I like to do sometimes, ingredients that like cold water, like in the stir fry, to reduce the amount of oil that I may need to add, I like to go ahead and put in the mushrooms so they can, add some moisture to the dish, and then I'll determine if I need to add any additional oil. At least the weather is nice today.
Yes.
Yes.
It's much warmer.
Cold days. I'm not a fan of winter time. I was born in the summer months, so I just like to say I'm a true summer baby. No, I actually grew up in a military family, so I've lived all over. I was raised actually in Europe, and so I lived there for my formative years. But I've lived in various states and different places like that. And then the most recent, I was in the Carolinas for about 7 years, and now I'm adding these sliced mushrooms. So I've been here consistently since.
Where did you live in Europe?
I was raised in Germany. Yeah, I can't wait to one day go back and visit. It's on my list. I want to see, how things have changed, what's still the same,
Do you have families there?
No, my dad is a military veteran, so he served 25 years in the U.S. Army, and so he actually did 2 terms in Germany, 1 term before I was born, and then 1 term after. Culture. The culture was different. Thank you. Can you see the peas in there? The culture was very different. I would see a lot of like elderly individuals like riding bikes. The roads were different, they were all brick. But I never wanted, and so once I became soft, on top, and so finally it just kind of got to a point, and I'm like, why are you going through this? To try to like mentally trick yourself, just give it up. And so then I was pescatarian for a number of years, and then I just went vegetarian after a while, and then here I am vegan. So. I was in Ansbach, Germany.
Ansbach?
Uh-huh. But it was like neat back then. My parents still have a lot of the items that we had from Germany, and so like one of the big things back then is having a grandfather clock. And so you would have builders, and they would come to your house and they would show you like different plans for the grandfather clocks, and then you got to pick out like they did wood cuts on the side, so you got to pick out like your designs. I like to add water chestnut towards the end of the stir fry so they can still keep a nice crunch. So, you know, I still have like those fond memories of, you know, different things that I was able, you know, to experience and see. Now I'm adding in some freshly chopped garlic. Thank you. A little more pickled ginger. Coconut aminos is a great soy sauce replacement. It gives a sweet but savory taste to the stir fry. 90% sure that that's what I'm gonna do. Also, starch to it. And then you can also do this in like loaves, you know, in slices. It just depends on what your final preparation is. For the stir fry, I just wanted to do like in cubes. Texture on it. See it on there? So you can see it's a little jiggly. Just a little bit of avocado oil. Sometimes what I like to do is kind of let it brown a little bit, then I'll add the oil. Okay. So that's why sometimes I don't really add the oil in the beginning if they're still moving within the pan. So then what I do is just allow them to brown on both sides. And then before I flip them, I'll add just a little like sea salt, maybe a little onion powder. I forgot that quick. Toasted sesame seeds.
It's looking so pretty now.
Thank you. Now I'm adding in a little pink Himalayan sea salt. Garlic powder. And the multiple sinks and a little paprika. Sauces as well. One of my classes I use the which one right off pan. firmer. Just want to see how it's holding up with the liquid. Oh yeah, go ahead. You get your images. Lentil tofu is one of my favorite to-go-tos as a vegan. It's simple to prepare and it's protein packed. Tofu picks up many flavors, so you can use this same idea in several recipes. Such a flavorful dish that you can easily prepare at home. And that completes our lentil tofu stir fry. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment below and let me know if you tried it and what videos you would like to see next.